people of the world? It's Jada, and I'm coming to you here today, making this video to, put some of you guys' spirits who are like very anxious and very nervous about going through the Meps process and, just joining the military to kind of just give you knowledge and encouragement so that you have a better experience, because what you think in your head, what you manifest what you think in your head. So if you're thinking, oh my gosh, something's gonna go wrong, whatever you're thinking, it's very likely to happen, because whatever's in your head is gonna come to fruition. But anyway, I'm gonna tell you about my experience in hopes that it'll help you guys out. So Meps, before I went, I watched so many videos on YouTube. I asked so many of my friends who also joined the military, but like they can only give you their experience. So it's kind of like you'll be prepared, but you'll never be like fully prepared, because things change every day. People change every day. The system could change, so it's just different. So Meps. Me getting into the military has been probably a 2-year process. Like, I've been trying for the longest. So I kind of got myself hemmed up by self-diagnosing myself, and that's key. If you've never been to the doctor, if a medical professional has never diagnosed you with a condition, you do not have it. Unless it is on paper and a medical professional has diagnosed you with tests and evidence to prove that you have that, you do not have that. And you should not put that down unless you were told that and diagnosed by a medical professional. Like, I don't know how many times I could say that, but I'm kind of glad that I was getting ahead of myself, and I was doing that, because through the process I learned a great lesson. So I self-diagnosed myself with a couple of things, and in those 2 years of trying to get into the military, I had to make multiple appointments and spend money on getting these tests done to prove that I didn't have what I self-diagnosed myself with. So after getting all that done, I had all my evidence, I had all my medical documents. Another thing when you go to Meps is they want honesty. So like, if, granted, you could have never had anything wrong with you in your life. Like, some people just are blessed with like that type of immune system, or they just never been hurt or anything, and they never been to the doctors for like a serious condition. But when you go to Meps, it's kind of like so many people want to join the military, and so many people are going to sit up here and say, oh, I've never had that, I've never had anything done to me. And so the doctors are going to look at you and be like, you're lying. Like, you're not going to sit up here and tell me that you've never been sick, like, or nothing has never, like, you're not going to, because so many people do that. And so they're like, nah. And their goal is to try to get you to basically spill the beans and be like, well, and have you like questioning yourself and all that stuff. So that's why I say, if a medical professional has never told you that, I don't care what your grandma, your mama said, your sister, none of that matters. If a medical professional has never told you that you have whatever condition, then you do not have it, and you do not need to put it down on the paper, because it's only gonna prolong your process of joining. Like me, it prolonged me like 2 freaking years. So okay, so I'm gonna start off with the day. I go to Meps and stuff. So I had just met with my recruiter the previous day. We filled out some paperwork and submitted all of my documents. Actually, let me rewind and start like a week before I go to Meps. So we turn that in, and I'm waiting for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And I'm texting my recruiter. I'm like, oh my God, like, did they like rule me out? Like, oh my gosh, like, am I gonna be able to join? Like, what's going on? he's like, they haven't got back to me, yada, yada, yada. So, I'm just like, you know what? Let it go. Let me just let it go. And if it's gonna work out, it's gonna work out. Like, what's for you is for you. Like, it's going to work out. So I just let it go. And we were out at the mall. I was out at the mall with my mom, and we're driving around, and I'm about to get out the car to go into the store, and my recruiter calls, and my heart starts beating so fast. Like, all I can hear, like, I couldn't even hear him say that, yeah, you could go to Meps. Like, they cleared you to process. Because all I can hear in my ears is my heart. I'm just like so nervous. And he plays with me. He's like, so do you want the good news or you want the bad news? I'm like, bruh, I gotta make more appointments. Like, no. But yeah, so he tells me I'm clear to process. So we schedule Meps for that, like, next Friday. So the day before I go, I go to meet with my recruiter. We sign some last minute paperwork. We get my, like, portfolio ready, because when you go to Meps, you have, like, a portfolio you take in with you, with all of your information, like if you have any extra medical documents, all of your, like, general information they ask you, Social Security, all of that stuff, and then you carry your social and your ID or driver's license with you the whole time that you're there. So yeah, we go in and finish up that paperwork. Sorry. We go in, finish up that paperwork, and then, yeah, I leave and I'm ready. My mom is supposed to drop me off the next day by 8 p.m. into the hotel. So usually there's going to be, like, a hotel near you. Some people don't have a hotel near them, so they might have to travel like an hour to another city in order to process into Meps. But luckily I'm in Charlotte, and I'm pretty close to the Meps processing station, which was really good. So the hotel was kind of like 10 minutes from me, like, literally. So my mom drops me off, and I have, like, oh my goodness, like, I was so nervous. I felt like I wanted to, like, throw up that whole previous day, because I'm like, all I've been hearing from these other people is, like, the doctor's gonna sit there and interrogate you and be like, are you sure? Are you sure you don't have this? Are you sure? And I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, I'm just so nervous. Like, I don't know. It was just anxiety. Like, I was just so nervous. So I go in and I check in with the hotel. Like, when you go to this hotel usually keeps guests, which is like military applicants, Meps guests, I guess, to spend the night before they go to Meps. They have you spend the night at the hotel before you go to Meps. So you go in and check in a certain room, and then after that, you, like, listen to this, like, brief video where it explains to you the expectations required while you're staying there, what's prohibited, what is allowed, just general rules and stuff while you're at the hotel, and just in order to keep you safe, like, to keep everyone safe. So yeah, you listen to that, and then I go up to my room. I meet my roommate. You're most likely gonna have a roommate. It's rare if you don't, but hey, you could get lucky and just not have a roommate, I guess, because there's not that many people processing. But I had a roommate. She was really cool. I tried to get the experience from her. I'm like, oh my gosh, so what happened? She could only give me little tidbits or, like, her experience. So it was kind of useless. Well, I wouldn't say it's useless. It's just like, it didn't matter what anyone told me. Like, I was still so nervous. So I check and I go and I ask her all these questions, and I meet the other applicants who are going to process with me. They're, like, chill. I was blessed to have really friendly and applicants, and just people who, like, were excited to join. They weren't just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna join, like, they were just cool people. So I meet them and we talk or whatever, and then I go up to the room. I'm supposed to go back down to meet them to, like, hang out at the gym or at the pool, but that bed felt too good. Like, I was like, bye. So I end up falling asleep. I probably had an hour of sleep because I was so nervous. And then, so we wake up the next morning and I get dressed. I get up really early. You're supposed to get up, I think we're supposed to have breakfast at like 5:45. So I hate rushing. So I get up at like, our wake up call is like, I think 4:30, and we're supposed to be downstairs by like 5 something. I can't even remember the exact times, but I just got up mad early because I was like, I'm not about to be rushing, like, no. So I get up at like 3, I think I got up at like 3:50 or something like that. You know, I get up, brush my teeth, take a shower, woo-saw before I go. And yeah, I get dressed, I go downstairs, they have breakfast for us. You know, it's like their buffet style, you know, breakfast. So, you know, I just ate some bacon and some fruit, and yeah. You should eat something because they're going to draw your blood at Meps, so you want to not pass out. So make sure you eat like a good amount. Like, you know, make sure you get a fruit in. Don't just get all the greasy foods. Like, you want to feel good because it's going to be a long day. Like, it's going to be a long day. So we finish eating breakfast and we turn in our room keys, and then we line up. They call us by name to make sure everyone's there, and we walk out to the buses and get on the bus. Everyone is accounted for, and then we are on our way to Meps. You got to remember, early in the morning at like 5, there's like no one, hardly anyone on the street. So to me, like, I don't know if it was like me being so nervous, but it felt like that bus was flying down the road. I'm like, yo, slow down, like, we gonna get there, and just like hold up, chill a second, because I'm like trying to buy time and stuff because I don't know what's about to happen. So we pull up to Meps. This Marine guy gets out, and he's yelling, but he's not yelling at us. He's like yelling directions, but like he's not enunciating his words. So I'm just like, huh? Like, what are you saying? And I'm thinking I'm the only one. Later to find out other people like around me couldn't even understand what he was saying. So he's yelling or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'm just about to do whatever the person in front of me is doing. So we get off. We line up in like 5 rows. Drop our bags on the floor. He calls out any types of contraband and stuff, because you can't have any form of weapon, anything pointy, anything you use that could be used as a weapon. So he literally, you know, gives us examples and stuff. People pull out stuff out their bags. He's like, okay, that's okay, that's not okay, that's okay. And then he disperses us into whether we're going Air Force, Army, National Guard, Navy, Marines. Like, he disperses us and we go in different groups. Then we find our groups. We're accounted for with the leader for that group. We get, he takes our portfolios, and then he gives us our name tags, and then we go upstairs and we have to go through security. So, you know, you gotta take off your belt. Don't wear any jewelry there. Like, just don't wear any jewelry. And the dress code there, they say business casual, but I wore jeans and a button up and some chucks. Like, just dress in some jeans. You can wear a t-shirt. Make sure it's not like anything, any graphic, any like offensive words or anything like that. Like, wear a plain t-shirt or a collar shirt, a polo or something with some jeans and some sneakers. People were wearing tennis shoes, like running shoes, so you can wear that to be comfortable all day. And you'll be fine. Do not go in there with no sweats. There was this one dude who went in there and he had to go change. He thought he was going to process through Meps with sweatpants on. No sweatpants. You might as well take all the jewelry off, because you're going to be taking tests and it's just going to get in the way. You want to just make sure you're like, just don't bring anything crazy. Like, just chill. Like, you just gonna go get tested, so you want to be comfortable and you just want to be listening to follow directions. Like, make sure you follow directions, because the people in there, they're not, I mean, like, they do their job, but like, they don't have time for people who like don't know what they're doing, like don't know how to follow simple directions. Like, they they just have a short amount of patience. They're like, come on, y'all, like, use your brain. Like, come on. It's really not that hard. It may be a little intimidating, but they're just in there trying to get you done. Like, there's so many people to process, so they're just trying to get you done. So we get up there, go through security. You have to leave your phones in your bag. You're not gonna have your phone all day. No, you can have a wristwatch, but I don't think it can't be like an Apple Watch or anything like that. You can have like a regular digital or analog watch. But all other electronic, headphones, all that stuff, just leave it in your bag. You're gonna put it like in this room. And then we walk through these double doors into the medical area. And some people are checking in at the front desk, and some people are going straight into this classroom setting. It's like classroom with desk, like you're in high school. Like, so we're in there for like, I swear it's like an hour and a half. And he's talking, he's giving us other papers to fill out. He literally walks you through how to fill it out, literally walks you through. Like, they're gonna give you all the directions you need. He walks us through that. They're telling us expectations. They're telling us other little snippet stories about how people lied to get in and they were later caught. So, you know, just be honest. But if it was never diagnosed by a medical professional, then you don't, like, I don't know what you're doing, because it's not valid, because you're not a doctor. Unless you have MD after your name, then they would consider what you say. But if it's not by a doctor, then you're just prolonging your process, because then you're gonna have to go to a doctor to prove you don't have this or prove you do, and then it's just like confusion. So you fill out the paperwork. They tell us the stories. While we're in that room, they take our blood pressure, and what else? We do a breathalyzer before we like walk out the door. You know, you want to be calm. There's nothing to be nervous about. Like, literally nothing to be nervous about, I guess, unless you're like lying or trying to hide something. Then I could see why you would be nervous. But other than that, like, it was a pretty, we must have went on a pretty chill day, because everyone was like happy. And I mean, they were like not playing any games. Like, they were serious about getting the work done or getting through the process, but it was just chill. Like, so after taking the breathalyzer, we walk out. You have like 5 different stages. So you have a urinalysis, you have a blood station, you have a doctor exam where you go in and talk to the doctor, you have vision, and then you have hearing. So what I first did, I went to my doctor exam first. So I had all of those extra medical papers and stuff. So I'm thinking, oh my God, he's about to drill me about this. You know, you want to greet everyone there. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You want to say, you know, before you start talking to somebody, be like, hi, how are you? Hope your day is going well. And let's get started. You know, just like be welcoming. Like, you know, they're a person too. They might not have had a good morning. Like, you know, just be like welcoming and respectful. So I go meet with him. He's like this older doctor, and he's looking through my packet, and he's like, okay, you have some extra medical stuff back here. And I don't say anything. So he goes through it, and he's like, okay, so you had so and so. These were self-diagnosed. Mind you, I was already cleared to process. So a previous doctor there had already reviewed everything and cleared me to come process. So he just was like, okay. And he was like, okay, this is self-diagnosed. Do not add no extra stories. Like, if you bring previous medical information, unless they ask you direct questions, answer them. And that is it. They don't need no extra background information to get confused. Like, no, just shut your mouth and let them review your work. So literally, he goes through my paperwork, and he's like, okay. You self-diagnosed, but you don't have any of this. And I'm just sitting there like, The only thing I say is, Doc, if I were to tell you the story, you would look at me and be like, are you serious? And I guess he smirked, and then he literally went through the rest. He asks you questions. He asked me all these other questions about like my mental health, involvement in drugs or anything like that. And yeah, it was a very simple visit, but you know, I drank so much water because they were like, drink water because you're gonna have to like pee in a cup. And I drank so much water, so I'm like literally about to explode. And I'm like, Doc, can you do me a favor? Like, please send me to the urinalysis station next. Like, I'm literally shaking because I have to pee so bad. So he goes out the room, down the hall, and he's like, this girl's about to piss on herself. Like, she needs to go to the urinalysis station. And like that urinalysis station for females, there was no like nurse there, attendant ready to even open that section. So she comes, and it's like a few other girls, but it's like 2 stalls with no doors. So you're peeing in front of the nurse, but like she's not literally watching you like pee. Like, she's moving about doing, she just wants to they just want to make sure like you're not stealing anyone else's pee, or you're not like doing anything you're not supposed to. So you pee. It's like, it's literally stalls with no doors. So just go in there and pee, and like you're fine. Like, no one's looking at you. So I go in there, I peed, I did not waste no time. Then you hold your pee, you go to the window, he does like some paperwork, yada yada yada, and yeah, you're good, you leave. The next station I went to was hearing, and you go in this booth. It's a small booth, and there's like 6 stools, 3 on each side, and I go in there with everyone else, and yeah, we do the hearing test. I finished really fast. Like, I did really good on the hearing. When I got out, he was like, you finished before everybody. It's like, and you did like really good. Like, it's just, it came in triplet sound. So it was like beep, 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 beep. So they start loud. It starts in this, I'm not sure which ear it starts in, but you have left or right or whichever. And then it goes beep, 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 beep. And you push it every time you hear. Like, every time you're not hearing anyone else's headphones, it's yours. If you hear a sound, push the freaking button. Like, at first I was like, oh my gosh, am I doing it right? Because like, I'm thinking sounds are coming from everyone else's. Dude, that sound is so like almost silent that how could you possibly hear that other person's headphone? And it's like going straight into their ear because you have on these headphone things. So as soon as you hear it, push the button. So that was simple. I go in to get my eyes checked. Hold one over here, hold one over here. You read the smallest line that you possibly can. I think they call it depth perception. I didn't do that. I don't know why, but I didn't do that. So next, I go get my blood pulled. If you're scared of needles, I guess you have like, it's not that bad. Like, I had my blood drawn like quite a bit, so it was just like, okay, stick the needle in. They draw a little bit. It's not no huge amount. Like, they just draw it to check you for like HIV or other diseases. And then yeah, so then I'm thinking, we're about to chill or whatnot, whatever. And so an attendant leads me back to this back room, like behind where I went to get my doctor's exam done, where I went to go talk to the doctor. And then I go back there, and the rest of the girls who I'm processing with, I see them all in their paper gowns, and I'm like, like, oh my gosh, like, they're about to check my hoo-ha, like, oh my gosh. So I go back there, and there's a nurse back there. There's gonna be a nurse with you when you're getting checked by the doctor. Whether that be male or female, you're gonna have a nurse in there. It's a part of the law. If they do not have a nurse in there and you want a nurse, you can be like, listen, where's my nurse at before we start this? Like, they can't do it without the nurse. I mean, they can if you give them permission, but have the nurse in there because people are crazy. So I go back there. She's like, okay, get in a bra and panty. I take off my clothes, and the girls are really cool. I was processing with like 6 other girls. We all were like talking about our future plans, what branch we were gonna join, what our MOS, our jobs were. And so they were really cool. They were funny. So we were all nervous. It was like, oh my God, So yeah, I get in the bra and panty. She takes my weight and she takes my height. Literally, for my height, like, I'm 5'6.5", and for my height, the weight minimum is 121. I was 123. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I need to eat more Chick-fil-A. But yeah, so I mean, when you go to basic training, like, you're gonna gain weight, you know, unless you're like, I guess, unless you're like overweight or like heavier, you know, working out would slim you down. But if you're a smaller person, you're gonna be eating 3 times a day, working out, building muscle, so you're going to gain weight. So I was just, whoo, that was all God, how I made the weight minimum. But yeah, she takes that, and then she's like, okay, take off bra and panty and she hands me a gown. So there's curtains in between when you're back there. So when you take off your bra and panty, like there's a curtain. So no one's gonna see you. Like you take that off, you wrap the gown around you, and you're just in there chilling until they call your name. When they call your name, I was like second to last, which sucked. I kind of wish I was first, so I would have got it over with. So I go in there and he checks my arches and my feet. He checks the bottom of my feet. He checks my ears. He checks my eyes. He rubs his hand like on my throat and stuff to make sure there's like no abnormalities. He checks my stomach. He checks my breasts. Yes, they check your breasts. But the thing about it, like, hopefully whatever doctor you get, like they do this. Like they do this. They've been doing this for years and years and years and years. So you're not the first boobies. Your boobies are not the first they've ever seen. Like it's not gonna be weird. Like I thought it was gonna be weird, but like it was so fast, like there wasn't even enough time to get uncomfortable. Plus there was a woman nurse in there and they were talking about different things. So like it was like they were paying attention to you, but they were like, okay, come on, we're gonna get this over with. So they check your breasts, you know, he's checking for lumps or whatnot. Then he checks your hoo-ha. But I'm thinking he's about to sit down here and examine, yada, yada, yada. Like, no, literally when he checked it, like, it literally didn't even take 5 seconds. Like, he was just like, zoop, zoop, and he checks your butthole. So they just want to make sure you don't have like any diseases prevalent, hemorrhoids and none of that stuff. So yeah, so get done with that and I go back in, get back in bra and panty, and after everyone's getting checked, we're all in this room and they have us do exercises. They have us do the duck walk. They have us walk across the room really fast. They have us like do these different exercises with our arms, with our feet kicking and all that stuff. They want to make sure you have like full mobility of your body. That's all. And they have you like walk on your knees and stuff. They want to make sure you don't have any knee pain. But dude, it's a hard floor. Like, who wants to put their kneecap on a hard floor? And they like, it's just make sure if it hurts, like you explain to them, like it's a hard floor, dude. Like I don't have knee pain, like arthritis in my knee. Like they want to make sure you don't have any like chronic knee pain, problems in your joints and stuff like that. So yeah, after that was done, we all put our clothes back on and we were all sitting on this couch. They had like a little tiny entry room way, and each of us went and revisited the doctor, and he literally just went over if they found anything in your pee. The blood results don't get back but until like later, like I guess a few days or a few weeks later. But if you don't hear anything back, you were fine. If you had like HIV, unfortunately, then I guess they would let you know and then you wouldn't be able to join, or they had like let you know, and however they handle that, they would handle. But yeah, we meet with him. I met with him and he literally just looked back over my paperwork, said I didn't have anything wrong. He was like, you're 2 pounds above the minimum though, so you're gonna have to keep your weight up. So I was like, I got you. More Chick-fil-A. I'm kidding. So yeah, he says that I'm good with everything, and so he's like, I wish you the best. You know, good luck. And so I shake his hand. I'm like, thank you so much. You know, you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for taking your time to, you know, check me out to make sure I'm good. So after that, I go hand my portfolio to this front desk. They have a front desk in that medical room, and I hand it in, and I guess they make copies of it. We go have lunch. You have like a It's not Subway or anything like that, but you're so hungry. Like, it was such a long day. You're just so hungry, so you're gonna eat whatever. So it was good to me. It was what I needed. I was super hungry. And then you go meet with whatever branch. I guess they tell you the available jobs. My recruiter had already like kind of locked me in a job. We had already decided what job. So I guess you go check in with them. You pick your MOS, you pick your job, and then yeah, you sign paperwork, and then you wait to swear in. So that was my Meps experience. It was not like, if I knew what it was going to be like, I would have saved myself so much stress. It was very smooth, easy process. And I think that was due to me having my medical documents, evidence showing literally I had every part of my body checked before I went from previous doctors. So I was good to go. But yeah, it wasn't that bad. And it's not gonna be that bad. Like, they just address everyone by yes sir, yes ma'am. Be kind, you know, don't smile too much, you know, smile, but like, don't smile too much, you know, it's not a joke. You don't want to be playing around in there. Just be quiet, just get through your stations. Don't talk too loud. You can chat, but like, don't talk too loud, because there's a lot of stuff going on. People's personal information and all that stuff, like, you don't want to do that. And yeah, it was a really long day, but it was not bad at all. If I had to do it again, I wouldn't have a problem doing it again. So yeah, I hope this information helped you and kind of puts you at ease, and you're more prepared to process, because they just want to make sure their soldiers are like qualified to join. Like, that's all. They just want to make sure you're good. They're just checking you out. You know, you don't want to join and then like something happens and like you end up dying due to that issue, when it could have been prevented and God could have just had another route for you to take instead of you trying to forcefully get into the military. So yeah, that was my experience. Everyone's could be different across the country. So yeah, but I don't think it's too much different, because you know, there's still guidelines they have to follow, so it can't be too much different, because I guess depending on the doctors that you have, but you know, just be respectful, be welcoming, be firm on your answers when you give them, yes or no. Do not give no extra background information. They do not care. They do not need to know. If it was not diagnosed by a medical professional, you do not need to mention it. Like, just be concise, yes, no. And it's not a game. Like, don't be laughing while you're answering. Like, this is serious. Like, just yes, no. Look them. Eye contact is important. And yeah, you should be fine. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope that helped you out. Bye. Saturday